Welcome back to the Ryan Dunstan podcast, Words from a Humble King. I said last show, which was the what do you do when God shows up in the form of people? I said it then on that show that I would do a show on forgiveness. And here we are. So let's talk about forgiveness for a second, because I'm sure most of us already know that forgiveness releases us from a burden. Right? I'm sure we understand that principle, right? And I'm sure we also understand that forgiveness is for us and not for the person that causes the offense. And that it's hard to receive from others, which we talked about last show. It's hard to receive from others when we don't forgive. But let's talk about the why we won't forgive for a second. Because whys have power. Whys have a lot of power, which is why we haven't forgiven in some cases. And I've been there too. And I'm still working on some things myself. But whys are powerful because they have purpose connected to them. Your why refers to your motivation or your reason behind what you do. Right? Your why serves as a powerful motivator that can drive you to take action in some cases. Your why, when you're clear about it, your why in doing something, you're more likely to stay committed to that action and holding firm on your stance, right? Knowing your why gives your actions the meaning it needs to hold firm. If someone hurts you or offends you, you feel justified in your position against that offender. You have an emotional justification to feel whatever it is you feel from that perspective. And out of that, you probably vow to never let it happen again, which is reasonable. Your why provides clarity and focus and helping you to make the decision not to allow those things to have happened to you again because of the pain that it caused. You choose out of that perspective. And the pain is relative. The pain is relative. So from your subjective perspective, you close yourself off to the kind of hurt or pain that it has caused, right? So I understand it. And that's the power of the why, right? We're going to dive a little deeper here too. Now, I don't want to be insensitive or inconsiderate here. This is a big thing. Forgiveness is hard. There's huge barriers now that we have to overcome. True barriers, understandable barriers. The emotions connected to the pain are very real. When we're hurt by someone or something, or even in some cases ourselves, whether it's intentional or unintentional, it could cause true anger, true fear. It could cause true resentment. It now becomes hard to trust and believe that person, that thing, won't hurt us again. And if we're hurting ourselves, we're setting ourselves back, it could be hard to trust ourselves again. Maybe you failed, and now you don't want to try again because of the result. There's a true fear and vulnerability that comes with the emotional roller coasters. And forgiveness requires vulnerability. It requires openness. It involves letting go of negative emotions and allowing ourselves to be emotionally exposed, which is the last thing that we want to do, especially when we felt those negative feelings and emotions. Opening yourself up again becomes a very scary thing. And this is making forgiveness so much more challenging because you feel justified in the anger or the pain. And now there's a fear associated with all of it, which we all know. Fear is very, very powerful. Fear is an illusion. We can make some decisions out of fear, which is an illusion that could have some very real consequences. Now we're activating pride and ego. And who knew? We didn't know we would be doing that here. And what is pride? Pride is a complex emotion that can have a positive and a negative connotation. And God hates pride too, boy. I'm telling you, pride is the one thing that got Satan cast down to earth. And in the blink of an eye too. Pride is one of those things where no matter what way you look at it, it's both true. It's true you got hurt. It's true you don't want to be hurt again. It's true that you want to protect yourself out of that pain. But it's also true that forgiveness is a good thing. It's also true that forgiveness can bring true delight in real lasting relationships. I've heard it put like this by Dr. Darius Daniels. Shout out to him. That God will let you live on whatever level you settle for. And it's because he knows that there can be multiple truths present. Our pride and our ego can make it challenging to forgive others because it could make you or us feel like we're giving in or admitting a weakness of some sort. Our anger is justifiable, which is why we may want to hold on to it as a way to protect ourselves and maintain a sense of power. But the power is an illusion. The fear is an illusion. Us having or taking a stance on one side, saying to ourselves, I am never going to let this happen to me again. Are you saying that you don't never want to have a lasting relationship? Because there could be a good one. There could be a good relationship on its way to you. Are you saying from your own failures that the next try could be a successful one? What are you keeping from yourself? You can make a stance out of the fear of the failure and out of the pain of the failure and not experience your win. And you can also make a decision out of the fear of being hurt by someone and the pain of being hurt by someone. You can make a decision out of that, which could keep you from a God-given relationship. And believe me, I know how turned around in your emotions you can be. Our feelings and emotions, although they're very real, they can lie to us. Because we could absolutely make the mistake of getting lost in the truth of this hurt. But then also in that same thought, overlook the fact that this is an isolated situation. You can absolutely make the mistake out of that and think that everyone will do you this way. And the power in which I'm referring to, you want to make sure you control. I'm going to control the environment in which I'm hurt or not hurt. I'm going to control the fact that I'm going to make sure I'm never going to be hurt again. It's unrealistic. It's unrealistic because at that point, you're going to hurt yourself from the relationship you could have that could be long lasting, God-giving, fruit birthing. Right? You could definitely make some choices out of the power that you think you have out of all of this and keep yourself from one of the greatest blessings. Out of that failure, you could absolutely get lost in the power of saying to yourself, I'm not going to risk it again, and then not experience your win, which could take you and your family and your legacy to a whole nother level. It's a difficult thing to forgive. No doubt about it. The whys behind not forgiving are very real and very powerful, but also can be very limiting. But if we can address the process, if we can address and process the why, we have a better chance at forgiveness. Forgiving someone doesn't mean condoning or excusing someone's behavior or our own. It doesn't mean that it lets that person or ourselves off the hook for the actions. Forgiveness is more about releasing the negative emotions within ourselves and moving on. We have to truly understand the benefits of forgiveness, because now we're creating another why. And as I've stated, whys have power. Holding on to anger and resentment can have negative effects on your mental and emotional well-being. I don't think any of us can deny that. But working towards forgiveness, whether for others or for ourselves, can ultimately lead to greater peace, gratification, healing, personal growth. I said it on the last show, we learn a lot about ourselves in the forgiveness process. We learn self-awareness. We gain understanding of others and ourselves. We gain strength because it's hard to open up again, right? Forgiveness for others gives us an emotional healing through releasing the negative emotions, which reduces stress and anxiety, improving our well-being and making way for healthier relationships. The growth in forgiveness is uncomfortable, but it generates and births of resilience and a spiritual well-being that you've never seen in yourself before. Listen, forgiveness is hard. Forgiveness is tough. But forgiveness makes you tougher. Until next time, this is the Ryan Dunstan Podcast. And these are words from a humble king. Peace, family.